Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? Brother Nanshi, my name is Amanda, not a real name. I am a university student here in Harare. I am someone who was spoiled from a very young age by my parents, including my stepmom. So what happened was that my father, he had two wives. So my mother was the youngest. So my father's first wife, she was a barren woman. But strange enough, what happened was that my father was said to have had a lot of cattle, but when he passed away, they all died and we were like really broke. And when my father was still alive, I can say that life was really good. And since I was the only daughter, I was very spoiled by my stepmom. She loved me because she did not have a child. As for my mom, she loved me even more. From a very young age, I just knew that anything that I wanted, I would get it one way or the other. Until my father passed away. When my father passed away, then all of his businesses crumbled to the ground, and I was used to having beautiful clothes, wearing the latest fashion, driving nice cars, and we used to travel a lot when my father was still alive. Then all of a sudden, I was once a girl that came from a wealthy family. I was now coming from a humble background when I was now in university. When I was in university, that was when I met a man who promised me that he was going to make all of my dreams to come true. This man, I met him at this other VIP club here in Harare. Very old, way old. I think that maybe he was in his late 50s. He had the wealth, all that I wanted. He was not like the young guys at my school who could not even afford to take me out. He used to shower me with gifts, beautiful clothes, jewelry, and money. He told me that if I stayed with him, he would take care of me and he would give me the life that I always wanted. His promises, they were just too much for me and I wanted it all. The lifestyle that he was offering me, one could not even resist it. It was not long before I agreed to be his special girl. I knew that he had other special girls that he had. For a while, I was in pain knowing that he had other 3 girls as young as I was, whom he was dating on the side. One night, he then texted me and he told me that even though he was with his wife, but he was thinking about me. He texted, "I want you to become my special girl." Everything seemed to be perfect. Then he made a strange request. He said that for us to keep our relationship strong, to ensure that he was going always to be wealthy, he wanted me to take a trip with him to his village back in Mutoko. That is where he comes from. He mentioned something about needing to renew his wealth, and I was going to be the essential part of that process. And at that time, if he had told me that he was going to renew his rituals, I would have refused. At first, I was really scared when he said that he wanted to go with me to Mutoko. Why did he want to go with me there? But he said that everything was going to be okay. I was scared at first, but he then texted me and he said that if I was not willing to go with him, I should tell him in time so that he can make other plans. And when he said that he wanted to make other plans, I knew exactly what he meant. He meant that he would go with another girl even though I was scared and I did not want to lose this rich blesser, so I agreed. He then drove with me from Harare. We then went to this other village and we stayed at this other traditional healer's house. Everything that was happening there, it was truly terrifying. I saw that there were cows that were being slaughtered. I saw a cow that was slaughtered by a man who was also a ritualist who had came to sacrifice. He sacrificed a big black bull and he seemed to be a very big businessman. He slaughtered the cow by stabbing the cow only once. The cow then fell to the ground, and when the cow fell to the ground, we could hear some strange noises that were made by some invisible creatures. They came, then they started to suck the blood of that bull. Then there was this other woman who had brought her own mad brother. I heard that this woman, she has some shops that are run by her little sister at Gulf Complex in Harare, but her brother is a madman. So they slaughtered a goat. Then the brother, the madman, he rushed and he started drinking and feeding on that goat before it had even died. He was drinking on the blood of that goat. Then it was time for my blesser and I to go into the consultation room. So in we went. We went into the consultation room. They spoke most of the stuff that they spoke about. I could not even understand. Then we were given 2 of the traditional healers' assistants. They were the ones that were supposed to accompany us. I did not even know where we were going. We got into the car. We drove and we drove until we arrived at this other mountain. And then we left the car. Then we started to climb up that mountain, and in that mountain there was this other cave. And this cave, when we went inside, I saw that this was just a grave. It looked like an ancient grave. He then handed over the keys of his Land Cruiser that he had used when we were traveling to Mutoko. And then we went into that grave. There were a lot of traditional stuff in there: red, yellow, green, blue, black garments, those ones that are used by traditional healers. And there were some traditional ancient walking sticks, clay pots. This was just a grave, bones all over. There were people that had been buried in that cave. So whilst we were in that cave, he told me that we were supposed to stay there for at least 4 days, and we were not supposed to go out. I was not supposed to go out because those 2 traditional healers assistants, in the morning they will bring us breakfast, and also in the afternoon they will bring us some food. So this man, he started having sexual intercourse with me in that cave, and the first day he was making love to me. What I would do is that he would come and sleep with me without giving me any rest. It was like he had been given some charms to make him to want to have sex with me non-stop. So he will come on top of me, and then he will sleep with me and ejaculate inside of me. Then he would go to this other clay pot and ejaculate inside that clay pot. This happened the first day. The second day, that was when there were some invisible creatures that started coming and they were raping me. And they did this until the 4th day. So in the afternoon, we would see some snakes, really big snakes. In Mutoko, there are some very big snakes that can be found there. We only had 2 blankets. We had been given some charms such that the snakes were not going to bite us, but I was scared because these snakes, they would try to come into the cave during the afternoon. Then they would see that there are some people, then they would just run away. So we spent 4 days whilst we were in that cave. Then on the 4th day, that was when we returned back to that traditional healer's shrine. But before that, once I had a dream whilst I was in that cave. I saw that I was being chased by these other Togolojis, and whilst they were chasing me, that was when I saw my blesser. He then said, come, so that I can show you the place where you can hide. So since I trusted him, I then rushed to where he was, and then I entered into the cave. When I entered into the cave, whilst I was running from those short boys, then he started laughing at me because I saw that he had led me straight into the place where there were more short boys. Then they started to sleep with me. Then we returned after 4 days to the traditional healer's shrine. We were given some charms, and I had to be bathed by some men because I was told that since I had been raped by these Togolojis, then I had to be bathed to be cleansed. Then after that, he gave me $1,000. So this happened in June. Until now, he has not given me anything. He only gave me $1,000 with the promise that he was going to give me even more. Now I am still waiting for him to give me something. What worries me is that I have a lot of discharge that is now coming out of my private part. It is like really smelly, such that when I go around, I am always having my body spray with me at all the times. And if I feel like I am really smelling like canned fish, smelling like tinned fish, then I take my body spray, then I spray myself because I don't want people to feel that I am smelling. I have gone to the clinic, and when I went there, it was like the nurse was just possessed by a demon, the way that she mistreated me. And then she kicked me out. She told me that since I was acting like I am someone who is rich, I should go to the private clinic. I don't have any money at all. because the reason as to why I can't go there, even though I was given $1,000, but there was this other guy. This guy, he had brought an iPhone for me from South Africa, so I gave him some money. We did a deal. It was a swap and top. So I gave him my phone and some money that I had at that time, and I promised him that I was going to give him some money. So he came to my place. He wanted the rest of the money, so I gave him. Then I settled some bills, thinking that my blesser was going to give me more money, but he has since abandoned me. I don't know what am I supposed to do. I have gone to different prophets. All of them, they've told me that if I do not get treated, if I do not return back to that traditional healer, then my private part, it will start to decay and I am going to die. And this blesser of mine, he does not want to speak with me anymore. Please assist me. Dear listeners, right, there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister right there. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Yo,